Oh boy, the more I read this, the worse it gets. So today I'll be talking about a VTuber agency called Nexus, or rather, a virtual talent academia they claim to be, whatever the hell that is. And now we see this post that was made yesterday that they are debuting 27 talents for their first wave. Now I'm not trying to defend Niji here, but fucking Niji Sanji already gets a lot of shade thrown at them for debuting like a new wave like what, every 6 months or something, and their waves are only 5 talents. Meanwhile, this company over here is debuting 27 talents, and this is where I'm going to start pointing out how that the more I look at this, the worse it gets. So, not only are they debuting 27 talents as their first wave, you can see that they're debuting them over the span of 3 days, April 26th, April 27th, and April 28th. Furthermore, you can see that they're debuting 9 talents per day. There are 9 to be on the 26th, 9 to be on the 27th, and 9 to be on the 28th. And even more to that, you can see that there's only a 30-minute window in between each debut. Every talent is debuting back-to-back that day within 30 minutes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but from what I see from most VTuber debuts, and even for my own debut, they're usually like an hour at least. Like, what are you even going to show within 30 minutes? I mean, sure, you don't need to have a fancy lore video or debut a song cover or anything like that, but I feel like to just be able to interact with your audience, talk about yourself, show off your model, this and that should take more than 30 minutes. Overall, the big concern is the fact that this does not really give your talents any spotlight, I guess, is the best way to put it. I mean, one thing that my friend pointed out is the fact that now talents are going to be fighting over anniversaries. Like, you know, normally VTubers, they celebrate their debut anniversaries, yada yada yada. But we got 9 talents that will be sharing their debut anniversaries with each other. So we got talents sharing anniversaries, 27 talents, like that is a lot of talents. And I feel like this does not give enough spotlight to each individual talent. Already disregarding the fact that each talent is only getting 30 minutes to do their debut, unless they plan for debuts to overlap, but even then, that's not a good idea, because corporations like HoloLive, they usually try to enforce that no talents will stream over any special events like debuts and stuff like that. So yeah, like, I don't know what they're going for here, but overall, this really just seems like a situation where there's definitely going to be talents that get more viewers than others, there's going to be a lot of favoritism, this and that. Which, by the way, they don't even deny that's favoritism, as you can see here. It seems like the way they function is that talents that have higher levels of engagement will get more support. And sure, this probably makes sense in most cases, but in this situation, it kind of feels like that if a lot of them don't get viewers, it's not because of them, it's because of the situation they got put in for their debuts. And to add on to this, they are going to be debuting on this app called AniLive. Now, I've never heard about this app until now, basically, but apparently it is a new streaming app for VTubers, and it is still in closed alpha. And again, this is where, once again, I get to point out how it gets worse the more you read into this. So not only is this app in closed alpha, you have to pre-register for the app, which Nexus even puts in the comments of their post. Furthermore, this app is only on iOS, it is not on Android. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to assume that developing an Android app is a lot easier than developing an iOS app, so I have no clue why the Android app would still be in development but the iOS one is done. Like, what? And a lot of people even posting here that there are statistics that show that way more people own an Android phone than they do own iOS phones. And a lot of people in the comments say that they can't watch the debuts because they don't have iOS phones. And as you can see here, they state that this is going to only be an app, so you can't even watch this on your desktop. If this was an Android app, then, you know, maybe people could at least like download an emulator on their PC to try and use the app and such, but since this is iOS, you can't even do that. I mean, I think there is some iOS emulators out there, but I don't think they're any reputable. So yeah, they'll be debuting exclusively on this app that I think not many people are using. It's iOS only, no desktop, no Android, and you have to pre-register for it. Also, supposedly, according to their post, this app is for chatting only. They don't have any plans for gaming. So like, overall, this just seems so limited. Your talents have to debut on an app that has no desktop support for a phone that most people don't even have, and it's only going to be for chatting? Like, what? I have an iPhone, because, I'm a VTuber, so I like to use the iPhone for fancy tracking and stuff like that. But even I understand that most people are not going to have an iPhone because that shit is freaking overpriced. I just don't understand why you wouldn't have your talents debuting on one of the bigger platforms like YouTube or Twitch for more exposure. Like, this just already seems like that there's hardly going to be anyone that's able to even watch these VTubers' debuts. They supposedly claim here that these platforms are like the future of VTubing and stuff like that, but I mean, I just want to point out here that VStream is on this list, and VStream shut down recently. Like, no shade to the VStream team, but it just doesn't work. You can't compete with the big platforms that are already out. Trying to get people to move to a different platform is really difficult. I'm sure many bigger content creators can definitely vouch that when they move to a different platform, they lose a huge chunk of their viewership. Sure, you'll get some people that move because they're really dedicated and want to watch you still, but a lot of people won't, and those are facts that you can't deny. So even disregarding the fact that this is already limited by the whole iOS bullshit, like, you're not going to get people to move to this platform. I also want to point out here that they couldn't even spell Gargura right. But okay, yeah, sure, so what? We got 27 talents debuting in one wave, we got 9 talents debuting per day, 30 minutes apart from each other, yada yada. But there is more, guys. Now we can get into the terrible PR from this company's CEO. So, obviously, with all the points I mentioned, there are definitely people that are concerned, and they're voicing their concerns whether through the quote retweets or in the replies, yada yada yada. And the CEO here, Harry, has not been replying very nicely to them. So off the bat, when you go to his Twitter, you can see here, he's quote retweets the debut post and saying, "Let's go, getting criticism is a good sign that we're doing a new thing basic people can't understand. Our true battle starts here." What do you mean basic people can't understand? First off, that is just a huge insult to your audience, and second off, what are we not understanding? We clearly understand that your business model is setting your talents up for failure. Like, no one is going to sit there for 6.5 hours for 3 days straight to watch all your talents on an app that hardly anyone can use. I'm sorry to break it to you, buddy. And then another tweet here right under that. "I will go poke all the people who want to criticize Nexus just because you see the number of talents and new platform. You'll never know what we're working on, and I won't forgive people who just want to be a blocker of industry growth." Now, honestly, I mean, like, if this company does well, then power to them, you know? But it doesn't mean that we can't voice our concerns of how terrible of a model this is appearing to be. And the fact that the CEO is a man-child who clearly can't handle criticism. Definitely already a really bad look on the PR side for this company. You would think VTuber fans would know best about where they want to watch a talent, or what makes them interested in a VTuber debut, this and that. And it's not even like the comments from people are even bad or just straight up insults. Like, they're providing constructive criticism about why this won't most likely work out. You're sending 27 VTubers to an unknown platform with no following yet. There's no healthy population of users like in YouTube and Twitch, and even YouTube, Facebook, Kick had to pay big streamers or content creators to even attract a population that will check out their streaming features. And the PR gets worse. So on the debut tweet itself, someone here says 27 debuts across 3 days on an obscure proprietary, I'm sorry, I don't speak English as my main language, app that requires you sign up for it by filling out a Google Doc form. I've seen much better business plans fail horribly. This is cruel. So to which the CEO Harry replies, "What's your business plan? You'll never know what we're up to." To which OP replies with what I believe is pretty valid opinions, only to be met with a hostile reply from the CEO saying, "Thank you for your amazing plan. Good luck with your business." Definitely not a good look. A couple hours later, he retracts by saying, "Hi S1, please allow me to apologize for how I reacted in this thread. What you said had some very fair and valid points. We are trying something different with a new platform and hope to build a positive environment with unique opportunities for all of our talents. My actions were unprofessional and I sincerely apologize for my messages. I hope you will support our talents despite this, as they have all worked extremely hard for this. Thank you." To which people are replying as if it's bullshit, which it is because we have yet another comment where the same thing happened. Another user commented, "I can't help but feel like you're setting up the talents for failure with this. Having 27 debuts at pretty much the same time is actually insane. This is going to turn into a battle royale of talents having to fight against each other for viewership. You're competing with yourself." To which CEO himself replies, "Glad to get a criticism from a dummy account with 0 followers." And this user could not have described it any better than I could. Glad to see that CEO with a slightly childish response to a perfectly reasonable concern is still a thing these days. And yet again, he replies hours later, "Please allow me to apologize for what I just said here. Although what we're trying is different from other agencies, our goal is and always will be to help our talents be successful. I just didn't want any negative impressions of our talents as they worked very hard and long to make this happen. However, this does not justify what I said. I'd appreciate it if you could accept my apology, and I hope you would still consider supporting our talents, as I would love for you to see what they have worked on. Thank you." To which the replies to this are claiming that it is a ChatGPT written apology. I cannot confirm that personally, but I wouldn't be surprised. Overall, debuting a huge wave of so many talents that it's going to be hard for viewers to really get to know each talent, debuting 9 talents a day, only 30 minutes away from each other, on an app that's only on iOS that you have to pre-register for because it's in closed alpha, along with this company's terrible PR. I feel really bad for the talents because I feel like they are being set up to fail. It is quite a shame too because some of them have really nice models. It would be so sad to just see them immediately fail because of this company's terrible decisions. They say here the traditional model of investing all efforts into a few talents and waiting for them to grow on platforms like YouTube or Twitch is becoming unsustainable for companies. I don't know why you think that, because I don't think investing into 27 talents at once is any better. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I quite like having only 5 talents debut at once because it gives me time to get comfortable and learn more and watch each talent before a new wave is debuted, and even then, at least each talent is debuting on different days. It seems like their motto or gimmick here that they're trying to promote with AniLive is that vertical streams make you feel more closer to your VTuber or streamer or whatever you want to call them. But, I mean, like, that's not really anything new. We already have TikTok and YouTube short streams. I definitely know a lot of VTubers who multi-stream to TikTok, and hell, even some of the HoloLive talents are using the vertical YouTube streams. So you're not really creating anything new here. Already over 20 talents have joined the first wave, and the audition aims to recruit 20 more. Also, with their whole virtual talent academia thing, they keep trying to call themselves like a VTuber version of My Hero Academia. I'm sorry, but that's really cringe. Like, seriously, look at this. Overall, this project just seems like huge ambition with very little thought put behind it, and I feel really bad for the talents, especially since some of these models aren't bad. The quality for the models is definitely inconsistent, some of them looking really nice, and some of them looking a bit more on the low quality side. But yeah, it would just be a shame to see these models go to waste. Again, if they do end up succeeding, then all the power to them, but I really hope that they take people's criticism and understand why we have so many concerns about their business model. As of me making this video, the talents will be debuting in about 2 hours, and I'm really hoping that they find some success, but honestly, I really can't see things going well for the big reason being that how the fuck are people supposed to watch you? I'm sorry. I understand that these talents have probably worked really hard to get where they are, and I understand that the CEO is probably cooking something, but his responses to everyone's criticism is definitely not good regardless of how much work he's put in. We do have a comment from a talent here saying, "When we signed up to this thing, we all kind of thought if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But there's no harm in trying it out and just seeing what happens, so we're not too worried. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, that kind of thing." It's nice to see that they have a positive outlook on this, given the circumstances and all the very public call-out tweets people have been making about them, but I still feel that this is a very concerning situation regardless. With that being said, disclaimer here that if any information I send this video is wrong, I do not claim to be a news or a drama tuber. I'm mostly just making this video as a rant, so if anything here is wrong, I am sorry. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up. I'm not really the kind of person to normally make these kinds of videos, but I just had so much to say about this agency that I just felt compelled to make a video.